Okay, so welcome to the Geek Group, everybody. Let's go ahead and read the disclaimer. It says topics, properties, and investments discussed are for educational purposes only. We do not sell securities. Each investor is responsible for their own decisions and must evaluate investments according to their own investment risk tolerances. Opinions expressed are those speakers and no one else. Right, so here's the introduction. We are excited to have Deanna with us tonight. Deanna has been a licensed real estate realtor since 2013. She began her career in real estate as an independent agent and grew her own successful team of 17 agents in Charlotte, North Carolina. She has a deep passion for helping others grow and develop in the world of real estate and has served as broker in charge for a Keller Williams office for over 5 years, where she grew an office from 60 agents to over 500. Most recently, she has served in a leadership role for a real estate syndication agency, where she served as a fractional COO, coach, and marketing director for 28 successful syndication brands. She plays a vital role in helping syndicators start their business, and through coaching, strategic business planning, and marketing, she helps syndicators across the nation create and scale successful businesses. All right, with that, Deanna, thank you so much. Take it away.
Thank you. If we can start the presentation, that would be great. And then I don't have notes or anything. I'm kind of going by memory, so bear with me.
Okay, here
Perfect.
we go.
Awesome. So if I can't see you, or if you have any question, unmute yourself and you can call me D. You can just say, hey, D, I have a quick question. So don't hesitate to stop me if you have any questions about what we're talking or covering. So if you're on this call, it's because you had an audacious idea to create a life of what Max likes to say, and what I feel very strongly about, that word freedom, through the magic of syndication. So being able to successfully execute a big idea is key. I have worked with hundreds and hundreds of what I like to call visionaries, especially in the world of real estate syndication. So to continue executing when you face real world challenges that knock you down, there's a gap, and that gap is execution. Because that's the world of real estate syndication. We're going to have a lot of challenges, and daily you will feel like you're being knocked down. Everything that I am going to speak about tonight, I just want to make very certain that you understand I am more of a coach and business development leader for real estate syndication. I have dabbled and worked with some of my syndicators as an investor, but I have not physically done any syndication on my own. I just help implement the business ideas for my syndicators. And everything that I do, I almost feel like it was fate that brought me and Max together, because everything that I do, everything I believe in, is surrounded the EOS model that Max feels very passionate about, and that he's created an incredible business surrounding. So if you can go to the next slide, that would be great. The two-part, yep, awesome. So now for this one, now or I should say most of you may know this, but the reason why I'm outlining this specific slide is because it's really vital to understand the two parties and their roles if you want to build a framework for your business. And the syndicator really is the cornerstone for forming your real estate syndication company. Basically, he or she is the one everyone else depends on to make the whole thing happen, right? And his or her duties really include finding the income property, getting financing, closing on the property, and potentially property management. Therefore, we can say that at least 85% of the company depends on the syndicator's role. However, it's important to point out that it takes an experienced real estate investor to pull this thing off. And that's really where the training and mentorship play a vital role in your success. And everyone here teamed up with the right person. So as for real estate investors, really their only commitment would be the financing aspect. And that is to say that they're responsible for most of the time funding at least 80% of the capital needed for buying an investment, especially for multifamily side. So if we can go to the next slide, I think that would be 3. Okay. So the syndicator is tasked with all the work involved in finding and purchasing the property on behalf of the deal. And what this really means is that you need to set up the proper business structure for syndication. Researching the properties, finding and hiring the right people, real estate lawyer, deal with the legal paperwork and loans needed to close on the property, and conduct all due diligence before the deal is able to close and happen. So the sponsor is also in charge of managing the property once it's under syndication ownership. And the syndicator will also receive compensation for their role in researching and securing the property. This is a front-end acquisitions fee, and then the syndicator will also receive compensation for management of the property because this is going to be an ongoing and specialized responsibility. So the way the return on the investment is structured is going to depend on the property type and business structure. But there's a preferred return that must be made for the investors, right? That's normally within that 5 to 10% of the initial investment annually. So that's just the basics. And now we're going to get into my favorite part. So if we can get to the next slide, slide number 4. Because it's really important. And the reason why I laid that out is because it's really important to identify the benefits that you plan to offer in your positioning to potential investors. And this is really going to be the framework for what we're going to talk about when it comes to your business blueprint. You really need to truly learn from all of the benefits, what they are, and determine what they are early on in a deal, because this is going to help you accumulate investors for the deal. It's going to shape the way you start speaking to them, who you're going to be reaching out to, how you're going to market. And it's really going to impact your decision early on in the phases of research for a potential multifamily deal. So as I've enlisted, these are some of the key benefits that all of my syndicators are able to offer on their deal. And it's just really good to start identifying. Some deals incorporate all 4. Some of them have a very strong emphasis on maybe 1 or 2 key components. But it's always important before you even, while you're in the research or before you're even in the research, to truly understand from the investor side point what these benefits are if you want to be a successful syndicator. Because really that's how everything else is going to take form in your business. So if we can go to what I think is the next slide, 5. Okay. So I've kind of outlined a very, very overview of what I call the 4 steps to success when it comes to syndication. So we have education. And this is really what we're doing right here on the call. This is your partnership with Max as a strong mentor and a strong training program. It is absolutely 110% essential to dedicate the time to research, to become an expert. You have to commit. And I love that. I kind of just walked into it, but I love that you are already practicing that, committing to reading books, listening to podcasts, and surrounding yourself with experts, especially finding a mentor or people who are experts in this world of real estate syndication. The next step is what I call MVV, and that is your mission, vision, and value. So following these 4 steps, step 2 and 3 are what bridges the gap between your ideas and the profit that you make. And I've worked with hundreds of syndicators, and the one commonality for those that last and scale has to do with number 2 and 3 and proper execution. The gap is where most entrepreneurs get trapped, and it really comes down to consistent execution. And when I say mission, vision, values, I'm going to show you an example in a later slide of that. Max has done a phenomenal job of outlining that for his business. But before you can even start a business, you have to clearly identify, because every decision that you make, whether it be a deal or who you partner with or what your logo looks like, or what your business name is. Every single decision has to do with your mission, vision, and values. Clearly identifying what a mission is, what your vision is for your business, be it in this moment, 3 years from now, 10 years from now, and we'll discuss that in just a minute. And then also really what your core values are, how you're going to operate as a business. You can't start a business unless you have those three. And then the third step is infrastructure. I'm going to get into more detail in just a minute of what a one sheet is. But creating a one sheet in which all of your business will function and grow. And this is really the framework for your development and how businesses start and last has to do with their execution and consistency with your one sheet. It starts and it grows, and it also dies there if it's not consistent. And then, of course, the last part, once you have educated yourself, once you have a strong mission, vision, value in place in which you can build a framework, and then once your infrastructure is in place for your business to operate, then it's time to do the dirty work. Then it's time to build your database. If you don't have a solid CRM, customer relationship management tool, 99% of, I don't know, Max, if you have any that you recommend, but I would say almost 99% of my syndicators use something called Infusionsoft. I think they've recently changed the name to Keep. Has any of us ever heard of Infusionsoft for a CRM?
Sure. Yeah,
okay.
I've used it quite a bit over the years. So.
Awesome. So what is your take on it?
It's good. It's good. It was like one of the original CRMs out there. It got very big. Everybody was using it. Recently, I would say that, there are other a little more specialized CRMs that have taken over. Probably the leader is Hubspot. That's a big one. I'm an investor in a tech startup, and we were using Active Campaign for a lot of the email marketing there. And but then we were able to. There were a few things missing in its capabilities, so we just switched everything over to HubSpot. So HubSpot's pretty powerful, but Keep does the job. They've been in business for many years.
Yes.
Previously known as Infusionsoft. So.
Yes. So I also have done in-house agency work, and really just let's take real estate syndication out of the picture. So I am a HubSpot certified partner, and I fully support and love them. However, when it comes to the specifics of real estate syndication, I think Infusionsoft is most effective. And really what is a differentiating factor, in my opinion, is their email marketing campaigns. I think that is such a key when it comes to syndication. And then, of course, tagging investors, active investors. If you go to an event or you're part of a meetup, Infusionsoft has the ability, unlike any other that I've experienced in the syndication sphere, to really help small businesses scale when it comes to syndication brands. And what I mean by that is about 99% of my syndicators will use Infusionsoft as a CRM for email campaigns. Really, the whole marketing efforts are incredible through them because of your ability to tag your contacts and investors. It's phenomenal. And then
in that sense, it's very good.
Yeah, and then once your business grows, which I'm confident everybody on the call, if you truly are dedicated to the long term. Once that grows, there's an app called, not an app, it's a platform called Appfolio. Appfolio, however, costs $600 a month. And what that is really going to do is write that word down, because we're all going to be at a point one day where $600 a month is nothing in our real estate syndication business. Appfolio is a great platform for deal management. But Infusionsoft, until you're there, is amazing. So if we can actually go to the next slide. Yes, okay. So like I shared in the beginning, it is so important. You cannot create a successful real estate syndication business without having a blueprint. And really what that is going to do is creating processes and procedures for your business and your team. So there's a blueprint for consistently delivering high impact results. So the blueprint is going to give clarity on who owns what, when it's going to be done, and how to measure results so you stay on target to hit your short and your long-term goals. And the importance of a blueprint is efficiently performing and duplicating the day-to-day operations, because let's be honest, so many of my syndication partners are lawyers or doctors. Some are retired and can give this 100% of their time. But the beautiful thing about real estate syndication is in many times it is the most magical side hustle. It is such a great side business that can really transform your life if done correctly. So having a blueprint not only makes it more effective, but it really helps you measure your results, stay on target, and efficiently perform and duplicate the day-to-day operations, so that once you do something, it can be easily duplicated, or as your business grows, you can hire people and hand them that blueprint that they can easily, you don't have to spend that time training them. It's already in order. So I truly firmly believe that you can't build a strong company with a weak culture and poor processes. So part of what I mentioned, hopefully, I know it's really small, but part of what I mentioned is that one sheet. And on that one sheet, this is like where you function before day one, where you function on day one, and where you function at 10 years. It's just this sheet. And really, the only way that I could explain it is the Bible for your business. On it, you have your purpose or your mission, and then you have your vision. So your core values, and then your team roles. So if you know anything about the EOS model, which I'll show you what that organizational chart looks like in a minute, you really need to identify, even if you're the only person on your team right now, you need to very early identify what team roles you want to, what your sweet spot is, and then have very strategic growth goals. So we kind of operate on a 5-year, 3-year, and 1-year goals for your business. And really, truly, this is done on a very strategic, it's not just throwing numbers on the board. You have to truly get down into the specifics of what your growth goals are on paper. This can be easily done on your own through an Excel sheet. I will definitely incorporate ways that as me and Max work together in the future, that I can share these awesome tools and templates with him for the people on his team. And then from here, this is all done and lives in a Google Doc that can be shared with your team. And then from here, you really kind of create hyperlinks on here. So you have your scoreboard. This is something that you need to create. Once your goals are created, then your scoreboard comes in place where you know what task and what measurables are going to help you stay on target to hit your short and long-term goals. So it's very small, and I apologize, but if I squint really hard, you can see scoreboard. And then I have a document for naming conventions. And really what that means is there's so many abbreviations in this business, especially for your business. And you have to start really thinking as a business owner. For even MFG, Multifamily Geeks. So what that paper does is you start day one, and Max would do MFG, Multifamily Geeks. And as he's hiring people and bringing people onto his team, he's doing a multifamily deal. And it's a long project name or whatever. He's going to abbreviate it so that when he starts organizing his Google Drive, when he starts organizing his documents, everybody is on the same page, and it just gives clarity to the team. And then you have your voice and style guide. I wish I had time to go through that, because that is so important. Your voice and style guide is not simply like, you know, what font you want to use or what your favorite colors are. Once you clearly and strategically determine your mission, vision, and values on this one sheet, and that's your framework for every decision you make, no matter how big your business grows, you're always going to go back to that mission, vision, value. Your voice and style guide is so important. So what we kind of do when we work with brands is, especially when it comes to scaling your business in the future, once your logo is created and you have some kind of color sequence to your brand, once you kind of create your brand vision, so your logo is going to go in there, your font's going to go in there, and then you're going to create an avatar for your ideal investor. If you can have a business, if you can build a business in syndication and you can duplicate who you want to work with, your ideal investor, what does that person look like? What kind of realm is it? You know, people only making 300 plus? Is it people in a certain region? Is it, you name it? You're really going to create a strategic avatar, because then that's when the business voice and style could continue to grow from there once you have that framework. So a lot of my businesses, and this is really helpful too, because as your business grows for your brand, this is how you're going to grow your brand awareness and your brand engagement, because you can start while you have the time, while your business is growing. You can start, if you have a blog or you have a social media account, you can start putting in your posts or your blogs from this document. And as you continue, plug it in, copy, paste, put it in the document. And what that is really going to do is it's going to start to create a voice, so that in the future, when you're super successful and you want your own social media marketing campaign manager, or if you want to scale your business and really only focus on growing your database and your investors, once you have the framework for what your voice is, you can go and hire someone for content management and say, hey, this is a blog that I wrote when I first started, and this is true to, this is genuine, this is my brand voice. I want you to duplicate that. And that's how you can scale your business in the future. So that's that. And then the last portion of this for your blueprint is what we call our project organizers. So you can see on the right side, everything that we do, we found data shows the most effective way to grow your business and to scale your business is to operate it on a 90-day cycle. So I always like to have at least 3 project organizers during a 90-day cycle. We start with infrastructure. And guys, this is simple stuff. This is like creating a Google Drive for your business, creating an email account for your business. And that Google Drive is where you're going to start to create your infrastructure. So, and then your project organizer number 2 might be raise 5 million or have operate 3 deals or co-sponsor a deal, whatever that personal goal is, that would be a project organizer. And then you operate through here in a very strategic and methodical way so that you stay organized. Everything is clear and streamlined so that you could duplicate it. Has anybody ever heard of Loom or used Loom? L-O-O-M? I'm sure, David, you have. I'm positive you have, right? So Loom is a fantastic, when you're getting started, Loom is such an incredible tool for my real estate syndicators, because it allows you to screen record. So if you want to create a SOP, standard operating procedure, for if you're like, okay, this was really successful, this is the way that I want to move forward and onboard investors, creating a Loom and going through the steps so that when you're ready to scale and bring on people to help you, that they can easily do that without you having to duplicate your time. It's already there. And then you put it in your Google Drive. You hire someone and say, hey, it's in the Google Drive. You can go, I've already trained you on how I want you to do this. So Loom is incredible. Okay, so wrapping up, if we can go to the next, I think it might be 7. It's for your timeline. Okay, so part of your blueprint is going to be a timeline, and this might not come right away, and I know this is very small. It might need to take a few deals before you can really truly successfully create a timeline, but it's important to start thinking about it from day one. Every step that goes into what a deal is going to look like, and it doesn't matter, all of your deals are going to be different, but this is the steps in order in which your business is going to operate from a deal, from research to execution, cutting checks. Keeping this in mind and creating a timeline is so important, again, to scale your business so that you are building that framework. Okay, I think it might be the next slide, 8, please. Again, part of the framework is, this goes to the EOS model, is creating an organizational chart. So we have a visionary, which if I'm kind of reflecting on MFG, the visionary, oh, there we go. The visionary would be someone like Max. And then we have an integrator, which is someone incredible that takes the visionary's ideas and runs with them. They're the integrator, and they're really the heart of the business, and they're the heartbeat. And so you really need to start thinking about when you live day to, I truly believe that this is so important, because when you live day to day in your sweet spot, your business not only grows, but you're happy and you're energized, and you get up every morning, driving hard towards your goals, and the people around you are more excited too. So it's just way more results, way less headache, and it really finding your sweet spot. So you, as growing a syndication business, you're going to be in that visionary spot, but it's very important to start thinking about your organizational chart. And this might seem a little far-fetched if it's just you and you're just trying to learn the business, but I read a book, it was a Keller Williams book, and it resonated so much with me because it's called The Millionaire Real Estate Agent. And it's just this one guy, and he's creating a business from day one as if it's a huge corporation. And it's so important to set that tone in that story for how you want to grow your business. So looking at this right now, you're like, well, I'm not going to create an organizational chart. It's just me. But it's so important to do that from day one, because it's allowing you to create a story for success for your business. If you put yourself in that visionary spot on day one, then you're going to operate and grow accordingly, knowing that you're going to need an integrator, that you're going to need someone for sales, someone for marketing, someone for operations. Because I'm telling you right now, Max is learning this right now himself. If your hands are in so many different cookie jars, then you cannot scale and grow your business successfully as a visionary. So it's so important to clearly identify what the organizational chart is for your business from day one, and then finding your sweet spot, your business is going to grow. Slide 9, please. The next one. So in the multifamily sphere, as the sponsor and asset manager, you're really the quarterback of your team, and you're responsible for the deal, raising the money, and asset managing. But really, you truly need a team to help execute the day-to-day tasks and keep your deals flowing, and this is going to scale your business. So early on, you need to start thinking about who would be the best people to have in your corner. Do the research in your market. Who is that go-to legal attorney? Who is that go-to broker? Or maybe you want to start being the analyst in the very beginning, or maybe you want to team up with somebody for that. And then sometimes you can do third-party management company if that applies to you. So number 10 is, if you can go to the next slide. So this is part of that blueprint that I was talking about. Creating processes is so important. And once you do it one time and you get it right, this is going to scale your business tremendously if you create, and this is very easy to do. It's not, you can do this through Canva or Excel or even PowerPoint, but really start thinking about the processes. So one example that I grabbed from a business was how to communicate with active investors. So you can, in creating this, like, for example, the number one, you start by a welcome deal email and a snail mail certificate. So in your CRM, you're creating a welcome email that you don't have to continue to create for every deal. You're executing at a high level, but start thinking about what the framework is for these tasks. Creating a welcome email that you can then use as a template and duplicate it to save yourself time. And then on the 25th of every month, requesting from PCC draw data updates. So this is just one very brief overview example, but this is kind of how I want you to start thinking about your business in terms of scaling your business, creating a blueprint, and really having processes, because I'm telling you, visionaries in real estate syndication are incredible people who have incredible ideas. And unfortunately, their ideas often die in the execution. So having this framework is so crucial to scaling and growing your business and lasting, so that you can just duplicate your efforts and not have to continue every single time you're in a deal, because that's exhausting. And you can do it in the very beginning, but you're not going to be able to sustain or grow your business. So the last and final, and like I said, I will definitely continue the conversation with Max on making it easy and having templates that we can share, so that you don't have to reinvent the wheel. So I think this is the last slide. If you can go to the last slide. Yes. This is probably the most important slide for me. And of course, I have to end by putting a marketing spin on this. My ultimate success formula for anything in life is that you have to find somebody who has achieved the result that you want and then model them. It's really not about reinventing the wheel here. And then when I say journal, the most successful serial entrepreneurs or the most successful syndicators that I know that are operating at over $250 million on an annual raise level. The one thing that they have in common is that each and every one of them are journaling daily. And I'm coaching them on that. We journal 2 things, and I've done it religiously for the past 5 years. It's changed my life. I wake up every day and I journal 5 things that I'm grateful for. Gratitude is so important. We are living in very difficult times. And if I didn't have that, if I didn't start my day, I'd have some really shitty days. But journaling, I always do 5 things you're grateful for. So gratitude side, 5 items. And then I always do 5 wins. Every single day I end my day with 5 wins. So I start with gratitude. I end with 5 wins. And I'm not talking about like I signed on 5 investors or I found a deal. I'm talking about I got out of bed. I made small habits are going to lead to bigger ones. I got out of bed today. I made my bed. I ate vegetables. I got good sleep. And that kind of goes to, I'm going to skip and jump one. That kind of goes to something that I truly believe, and that's if you want to be a 7-figure business, you have to first master being a 7-figure individual. And I love some of the books that you all shared with me, because some of those are definitely developmental books to help you get to that. But you've got to sleep right, you've got to eat right, you've got to move your body. And then the third and most important is committing to reading a new book every month, finding your top 5 podcasts to tune into daily, surrounding yourself with people who are doing this, who are great at this. Mindset is absolutely everything. And it's something that you have to continuously practice each and every day and put in the work. So that's how I will end. I'm sorry if I went over by any means, and I will open it up if anyone has any questions. Come on, guys, no questions? Making my job easy?
I don't have a question per se, but a comment, if that's okay.
Absolutely.
Awesome content, but I think the other key to that is how it's delivered. And you can tell that you have been doing this for a long time, and I think the way that you delivered was really great. So I appreciate you hopping on with us, and thank you.
Absolutely. I appreciate that. Thank you, Tyler.
I'll second that. I like your enthusiasm and your energy comes across.
Thank you, because I'm really tired right now. I've had a long day. So I appreciate that. I haven't even eaten dinner, so I appreciate that.
Very professional presentation.
Thanks, Charles.
Done it well.
I appreciate your input too. You're always great and always very helpful and give such great feedback.
What's your single biggest piece of advice for somebody new starting out as a syndicator? Is that a fair question?
Have you ever read the book, The One Thing?
I've heard of it. I have not read it.
Okay. That would be my biggest advice is traction. And The One Thing is a framework for your mindset and your business, whether it's real estate syndication or lemonade stand. It is so important to first identify, The One Thing by Gary Keller. Highly, highly recommend that book, because that is going to set the framework for your mindset, your business, who you are as a person. That it starts there is that book. And once you create the one thing, really the blueprint that I shared with you and the templates that I will share with Max are so important. But the most important thing of all is really determining what your mission, vision, and values are, and make sure that that's concrete. It takes some time to really think through what that means to you now, so that your business can grow from there, from that standpoint.
And maybe a second question to go along with that. What do you see as the biggest mistake most people make?
Not having a blueprint. The blueprint is so important. And it's just a matter of a few documents put together in one organized, concise way that is kind of like your business Bible, if you will. Execution, I think, dies when you don't have systems in place and organization. So just having a blueprint where everything is organized is going to help you determine how you want to do things and then continue to execute them at a high level and an efficient level. Because a lot of times life happens and things get thrown our way, and we'll find excuses for why we don't have X amount of investors for a deal, or why even we can't find a deal. But if you have a blueprint, that kind of saves 90% of your time in having to duplicate processes in this business so that you can be more effective.
In my mind too, I think the more you can automate, the better it is too.
100%. Absolutely.
Thanks for the presentation tonight.
Absolutely. It was nice meeting you, Larry.
Okay, I got a question. I always start jumping in on questions at some point here. Thank you so much, Deanna. I appreciate your presentation. Yeah, thank you. Maybe if you could talk about, even given your experience growing some of your businesses, I mean, taking a broker/agent office from 60 agents to 500 is an amazing, transformation. Maybe talk about your experience with working in a business versus working on the business, and maybe what the balance looks like for an entrepreneur as they're going through this process.
I think that, not to kind of repeat myself, but I think that it starts with the one thing, because you have to truly find something that you're passionate in, and you have to truly want it more than anything that you've ever wanted. You have to be, for example, I'm just going to kind of throw out an example. I'm working on a startup with somebody today. I have not, and I'm not lying, it's 9 o'clock my time. I haven't eaten anything except for drinking water. I have been at my computer all day. I've made 300 calls, and I don't feel like I worked a minute today because I am so pumped and excited about what we're doing. So if you don't have that passion for the freedom and the opportunity that real estate syndication could offer, then you're not in the right business. Then you need to find something else that you're passionate about. You have to truly want it more than you want sleep, or more than you want to go on a date with your significant other. Those are very important, and finding that balance is very, very important. But it's going to take some hard grit, determination, and a lot of long hours so that you can build something, so that you can sit back in a few years and with your significant other and really enjoy it. I start my day every single day. I ask Google, I wake up, I do my journal, and then I ask Google to play motivational speeches. And that's all I listen to every day. And I swear some of them pump me up in ways that it's like, that's what gets me going. Because everything, like, we are living in the hardest of times right now, real estate syndication aside. And I think that you have to truly be very intentional around who you give your energy to right now and who you surround yourself with right now. And you've got to be intentional about protecting your mindset, because we can really fall into some pretty deep holes right now if we allowed ourselves to. Myself included. Who wants to share something that they feel might be in terms of mindset or fear or false reality? Does anybody feel like they're at a roadblock in starting their business right now?
I know one roadblock that I've run into recently, for what it's worth. You hear a lot, Donald Trump was famous for saying this, you're either with me or against me. And you start a partnership with one person and it offends another person. How do you navigate those kind of challenges yourself, and how do you, put a business process around something as challenging as that?
Well, that's a good question. I think that if you unfortunately find yourself in a situation where you're offending someone, then they're not on board with your mission, vision, and values, and they're not the right person to have on the team. So once you create, Larry, go ahead, sorry.
Oh, just refer back to your traction and your visions. And
yeah, Larry, once you really get concrete about what your mission, vision, and values are, then that is going to shape, and I know I'm repeating myself. I know I've said it 100 times on the calls, but you have to truly get so laser focused on what those three things are, because not only is that going to scale and grow your business, but that's going to shape how you move. That's going to shape how you talk. That's going to shape who you choose to do business with and how your business operates. So you asked a really good question, and I have a lot of enemies when it comes to business, but I don't view it as a loss. I just view it as someone who wasn't aligned with my mission, vision, and values. My mission, vision, and values.
All right, thanks.
Absolutely.
I have something to share on that topic. I think one of the things I've been struggling with is maintaining a consistent identity across all people that I interact with. I have my one identity when I'm here on these phone calls, with like-minded individuals from an investing standpoint. I'm 25 though. And if I try and take this identity into my personal life with my other friends, or some family members that don't get it, yeah. I almost feel like I have to recess a little bit. I can't be that same person, or I can't talk about it because there are different outside perspective, someone saying you're 25, what are you doing? You're dreaming too much, or whatever it may be. And this kind of goes back to one of the things you were saying about social media, the use of social media in trying to market it yourself. And you're going to have all sorts of different people that are following your journey on social media, depending upon how big, that becomes. Some people have thousands and hundreds of thousands of people following their journey on social media. And one of the roadblocks that I'm having is knowing that that's something I need to develop. If I want to grow my business, I need to be reaching out to different people and creating the right identity to show people of all walks of life, whether it's other syndicators, other investors, or maybe just other outside people that are following along on my journey. I'm kind of getting lost in what I'm saying now, but one of the things I'm struggling with is what identity do I want to create that can be consistent across all of the people that I interact with?
Yeah, I could completely relate to you. I'm 32 years old and I coach and mentor millionaires who are in their 60s who have way more life experience than I do. And I had to truly grow into that role. I was a keynote speaker and I was scared shitless. I said, I'm not qualified for this. I'm not. Maybe they just, glanced over my resume and for whatever reason I got lucky. But Tyler, you're 25 years old, but you have to truly really take some time to reflect on who you are as a person and what you have to offer. You're 25 years old, but you're on this call. I have a sister who's 25 years old and she's a bartender and she is not on calls like these. So you have to first give yourself some credit for that, number one. And then number two, you have to put in the work to learn your craft. And once you truly learn this craft, that's going to build up your confidence and that's going to allow you to, and actually what you said is going to make you a successful, sorry, I have a very squeaky chair, but what you just said, your ability to adapt it and kind of, I don't want to say change, but adapt it who you're talking to is a gift. My personality change, if I'm one-on-one with someone, I have a really good, if you have the ability to mirror somebody and kind of change yourself, change your tone, change how you're talking to them, your body language, that's a gift in business. But one thing that shouldn't change is your confidence in what you have to offer. And that's going to really build once you build your craft. You're in the right group, continue learning, be hungry, and educate yourself. Don't stop educating yourself. The more you educate yourself, the more confident you're going to be. So let them say that you're crazy or you have big dreams. Let them, use that as motivation to grow in your business, because your big dreams are going to get them to apply for your business one day. They're going to want to work for you, not with you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Someone else wants to say something. Go ahead.
Yeah. I've had a couple of health scares over the last couple of years, so I literally have to rebuild myself. Mm-hmm. Not just physically, but also it's a battle with my mind, because as often as I want to go just nonstop. For instance, my wife could tell you she's coming here before, and I'm sitting here at the computer. I'm trying to work. Mm-hmm. And I'll drift off.
I know.
So the challenge for me is to not get in my own head and feel like I can't do it because of those things. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's basically it for me.
I know, Darnell, and I would be such a hypocrite if I said that I can't fully relate to where you're coming from. I lost my dad at 54 last year, and I had a complete nervous breakdown. Probably no one on the call would believe me if I said that I was diagnosed last week as someone who was clinically depressed. Mm-hmm. But I have my one thing, and that's what keeps me going. And every single day, God, it's so hard, but every single day I fill my cup through podcasts, through books. Literally, Darnell, if you have Google or Spotify, tell Siri or tell Google to play inspirational speeches and just listen to that when you're on the computer and you can't focus. Take a minute, pause, and just listen to it. That's what I do every single day to keep, because you need that. You need your cup to be full, because my cup has been so emptied. But listening to that, filling your cup up every single day, because if you don't, there's none of us to give. And when we don't know where to get it from, that's where you get it from. You find 5 podcasts from 5 mentors who are really transparent about not just being great, but how they achieved that greatness with humility. Finding those 5 podcasts, reading a book, a self-development book every single month, or hey, if you finish it in 2 weeks, on to the next one. You've got to continuously fill your cup. Filling your cup is the answer to that. And I could relate with you so much right now. Max knows this, and I'll be transparent with you guys. I was in a leadership role in my company, and the owner of my company, about a month and a half ago, told me that she's changing the model. So my job is no more. So here I am, and I've worked so hard to be at this level in the company, and now I'm not. So I can either sit in bed and eat bonbons, or I can get off my ass, fill my cup up when I don't have it in me, and keep going. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going. So just keep going.
I will. Thank you. And absolutely. I have to say that the success you've had, starting off with, I think it was 17 agents to building to 500, is beyond impressive. So kudos to you. Thank you. I appreciate that. I was excited. The key to business is a transfer of excitement. Whether you're selling lemonade or a multifamily home, be excited about it. That's transferable.
Who else? I appreciate you guys. The vulnerability is admirable, and I think acknowledging the feel along the way is essential. You know, it's one of the things I've learned as I've grown older, is this just concept of emotional equality. No matter what your age, if you're feeling it, it's real. That's right. And it affects us. And for most of us, you know, being able to, we have this thing called ACER, acknowledge, identify, speak, and release. Acknowledge that we're all affected by emotions, and they're real to us, and what we feel, whether it's logical or not, that is our state, and that's where we are. And then try to identify the emotion that's plaguing us and on us, and speak it out and release it. That's right. And let it go. That's right. Yeah. And to summarize, Max, this is really what this comes down to. This is 5% education, 5% educating yourself, continuously educating yourself, 5% creating an infrastructure and some organization to your business, and 90% mindset. So fill your cup every day, cling on to people who are masters at this and are positively contributing to your life and your mind every single day. And it doesn't have to be real estate syndication. Yeah. All right. Well, who didn't talk yet? Pedro or Mark, or do you want to add anything? David or Cabrin? Go ahead, Pedro. Or we got David there. Pedro, go first, then David, go right after.
Okay. I'm taking everything in, and I'm speechless at the moment. The only thing that comes to mind, because I like to study like psychology, is that we do have to fight against the mindset and our old programming, especially the programming of being, say, 9 to 5, and that some people are better at taking risks than others. Because I know I can be personally, I can be I can have a habit of analysis of paralysis.
Yes, yes, yes.
So, but you're being grateful. That's something that's wonderful. That's I should try. I have to try. And the motivational speeches. That's a great idea. So.
Yep. If you have Google or Spotify or anything, even YouTube, just let it play. Let it play in the background. If you're at your 9 to 5, put that in your ear. Let it play. I promise you, you'll leave pumped at the end of the day.
Okay. But I'm gonna say this early. Yeah, you get a 10 on the rate the meeting.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that.
David, we can't quite hear you. Your mute is off. I saw you turn your mute off. No, it's not coming through for some reason. There, your mute's on. Maybe the microphone in your computer switched. No, we still don't hear it. I'm sorry. Oh, that feels frustrating right there. That was frustration. See, you sharing how you feel right there, right? You gotta say, I feel frustrated. Okay, maybe he's gonna try to log off and come back. All right, we're doing good on time. We got 11 minutes left. We do have to rate the meeting. Let's see if we can hear you, David.
I don't know. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Awesome. Look at that. Allowing things in will work. But so I was saying that Dee, I really appreciated your presentation. It was very motivational. The one thing that always sticks with me that I very much like is journaling. I think that is a key part of any entrepreneur in any single field. Journaling gets those thoughts out of your brain and onto a page. So that they can stay, because I don't know about anyone else, but I know that when I think of a great idea, I have it for about 5 minutes, and then an hour later, I'm like, what was that I was thinking of? And I can't remember it. So I always had a teacher that told me your brain is not for making ideas, it's not for keeping ideas, it's just for making them. And so if you want to keep them, you got to put them on a page.
That's right.
And so doing that, journaling them, getting those things, and then having that sort of perspective of, hey, these are my positives. Hey, these are my things that I'm working for. Hey, these are the things that I did today. And even when they're super, super simple, like getting out of bed or making my bed. Or,
that's right.
Yep.
Start small and start small in a journal. And I don't know any of you personally, but I truly care about the development of people, and nothing gets me more motivated and passionate about seeing somebody at a starting point and then checking back and seeing their growth. But I would absolutely love it if just for a week, and hey, listen, like, no guaranteed, no get your money back. If you could journal for just 1 week and start your day with 5 things that you're grateful for. And even if you have to find yourself repeating myself, do you know how many times I put in my journal that I'm grateful for my house and the roof above my head? Probably every single day, because I didn't always have one. But be repetitive every single day. Wake up, 5 things you're grateful for. And then end your day. Keep your journal by your nightstand. End your day with 5 wins. And like I said, it doesn't have to be big wins. But what you're going to see is if you really stay consistent with that, and that might sound silly, but I promise you it is life changing. If you can start your day with 5 things you're grateful for and end your day with 5 wins, even if it's just you making your bed, those wins are going to just continuously progress and get bigger and bigger and bigger. And it's going to kind of change your narrative and your mindset and your story. You're going to create a person. you're going to create a person that operates on wins.
Thanks very much, Dee. That was great.
Thank you, David.
All right, we're running low on time. Cabrin, want to jump in here? I know you're at work. Cabrin's actually at work right now. He's on the phone.
You go, Cabrin. Rock it out.
Yeah, I could. I'll say something. Sorry for all the noise. First off, amazing presentation. Thank you for your content. And I could just relate, especially to like Tyler. I come from a really unideal background. You know, when I was involved in a lot of the streets, if you will, from probably 16 years old to 23. I actually started changing my life when I was 23, and I was in jail. When I actually came to and like seen the light, and God was fortunate enough to allow me to see it before it really got to something that was really bad. And I started making that adjustment. And to your point, I've just feel myself with so much motivational, inspirational, personal development, and even till today, I do it even more. And I put the 2 books that I'm reading currently. I've been through at least 5 books this week, and even I'll probably go through one tonight. And I'm just constantly feeding my brain podcasts, and I have to, because especially from the people that I grew up with, the people that I'm around, I love them. But even before this call, I had a friend, he's in the penitentiary right now, that just called me. And I just got off the phone with him, and like almost everybody that I grew up with has been to jail at some point in time, where like, and that's like just the reality of life. And I can't, just not know them, but at the same time, I can't surround myself with them, and I can't let their mindset of other people, rub off on me. And it will, if you allow it to, if you're not constantly filling yourself up with positive, inspirational information and being around those people who are like-minded. So that's why I do my best to make sure that I'm always in groups like this and networking with people who are doing more and better than me, and constantly listening and learning from people who are more advanced, and it can inspire me, because I have to, and it helps tremendously. And I've seen the growth in my life, like 10, 100-fold, and I can continually see the progress year after year, and I can credit that to that constant listening and reading, and just filling my cup with inspirational material. So I can attest to that. I relate to you, Tyler. I remember going to meetings, especially starting out when I'm, just starting to change and everything, and I'm like the only one my age, the only one that looks like me, and I'm feeling like, man, I'm faking, I'm acting a certain way. I used to wear a shirt and tie every single place that I went, just because that's not how I ever dressed, but just because I was young, and I felt I had to carry myself in that manner, and even that mentally changed me to the way that I behave. So
That's right.
I could relate, and again, I appreciate you, Deanna, for the material, and it was amazing. Thank you.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. And I could relate too. I ran away from a very bad situation at 16 and lived in my car. So that's what I meant by not always having a roof above my head. So I could relate. And in the chat, Cabrin, I put in, this is what you guys probably can't see it, but this is what I listen to. Yeah, it's all blurry. I listen to on Apple Music. It's greatest hits, motivational speeches. I put in the link. It's called Fearless Motivation. And I put in a particular song that I listen to every single day. And like, it literally gets me so hype. It's called Time for War. So I put that in there, Cabrin. I want you to listen to that song when we get off the call and tell me that doesn't shift your whole weekend.
I will do. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Nice. Okay, we're down to 4 minutes. Thank you so much, guys. Mark, last chance. You want to? You only got a little bit of time if you want.
Okay. Well, I want to say, Deanna, thank you for the presentation. I enjoyed it. One of the things that I did latch onto was the journaling part as well. I used to journal when, I was going through some rough times emotionally, and I kind of stopped when things kind of normalized, and I have to go back to that, just be consistent about it, even if things are going okay in my life.
That's right.
To do the journaling, to appreciate it. Appreciate what's going on in my life and career and all that right now, so that I can latch onto that when things aren't going right, and to be able to be grateful under all circumstances.
That's right.
We don't
just, I don't mean to hone in on religion in any way. I want to be respectful on the call, but you don't just pray when things are going good, when things are tough. You got to give glory in the good and bad times. Right.
So yeah, thank you, Deanna, for reminding me what I need to do.
Yes, sir. Thank you for that.
Charles, 60 seconds, and then we're going to all unmute and go and rate the meeting.
Oh boy, 60 seconds. Well, I'm going to be the contrarian here very quickly. So all that you're discussing is very good, and I totally agree with being grateful. Gratitude is very, very powerful, and it's something we should, like Deanna says, it should be all the time, giving thanks for our blessings, just our people, our loved ones, our health, everything. But I would say this one thing. Yes, consuming content is very important, and especially from a professional or business sense. But I would recommend this also. Just a few times a day, or whenever you think about it, just become conscious of your breath. I don't know if any of you meditate, but it doesn't need to be a formal meditation where you're sitting down and doing the lotus position, everything. But just if you're stopped at a stoplight, or you go to the restroom, or wherever it is, just take a moment to become aware of your breath. Okay. And what that does is that creates a little space, okay, in the thought stream, because our minds are going constantly, okay? And everything around us is constantly stimulating the mind, okay? And I think it's very healthy, it's very good to maintain balance and equanimity in your life. It's just occasionally become aware of your breath. That's all you need to do. And you could do it like 1 minute, 20 times a day. And it's like 20 little mini meditations, and that will have an amazing impact on your life. Okay. Yeah. So I say just experiment with it for a week and see how it works for you.
All right. Awesome. So that's wonderful. Okay, everybody unmute, go back to the L10 meeting, scroll down just a little bit, not too far, but scroll down to where it says rate the meeting. This again is from the Traction book, Wickman. At the end of the meeting, everybody gets to give a rating out of 10. The rule is if you're a 7 or below, you got to say why. I've heard some different integrators say it different. Mark, my integrator, says, if it's not a 10, say why. But you're rating the meeting, not the speaker, and you want to try to, if there's anything on your mind, you want to get it off your chest before you get out of the meeting, because you don't want to be in one of those meetings where you leave and you didn't get to say what you wanted to say, right? That's the worst thing ever. So we can't really address it right now, but we can get back to it later, okay? So if you're unmuted, Larry, you're up first. Just read your number and we'll roll right through them.
10, thanks.
Thank you. Darnell?
10.
Thank you. It's Max. I'm a 10. Pedro?
10.
Nice. Cabrin?
10.
All right. Mark?
10.
Nice. Thanks. Charles?
Definitely a 10. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Let's see. Tyler?
15, creating a space that it's a powerful thing, creating a space that allows people to feel comfortable being vulnerable with complete strangers. So thank you.
Nice. Great. David S? Oh, David S?
Hey.
Oh, Signer. David Signer.
I went with 10 as well. I thought that was a wonderful meeting. And,
nice. Thank you.
Pleasure to meet all of you.
Thank you so much. Who did I miss?
I rated a 10 too, because you guys filled my cup just as much as I did. So I appreciate everybody on the call. Like, your energy inspired me to keep going, and I really appreciate that. I took a lot off of this call just as much as I've contributed, so I appreciate that. Nice.
Thank you so much, everyone. Anyone want a last word before we go? We're 2 minutes over. We got to roll.
I'm gonna go eat dinner, but I value everybody's time.
What's for dinner?
My husband picked me up hibachi. My husband it's probably cold, but I'm gonna heat up some hibachi. But thank you so much. I really hope to connect with one of or all of you guys in one way in the future. So good luck in your
And
thank you.
Anna's contact information is an Anthrobank, and don't forget to live the love, the grow, and the freedom. Right, you guys? We'll see you later. Thank you all.
Have a good week.
Bye.